Hello, reality TV show producers and casting directors. My name is Jamie Joanne Russell, and I'm here to tell you why you want me on your shows. Alright? Let me start out by apologizing for the quality of the video. I know you're not supposed to apologize during an audition, but I'm going to do it anyway. Alright? I'm recording this on my laptop while sitting on my bed. Not the best circumstances, but some things in my life have changed since the last time I've done one of these videos. So I need to do an updated one. That's all there is to it. If you're wondering what my shirt says, draw your own conclusions of what that means. At the time of the recording of this video, I am 40 years old. And let's not beat around the bush, I'm also fat. More on that later. I am the only girl out of 4 children and the youngest, which means I can be a little bit tomboyish. You know, for instance, I like to keep my nails short and blunt. But I also have my girly feminine side. I love a good pedicure when I can afford one. And obviously I do enjoy wearing makeup, except for eye makeup. I never wear eye makeup because it makes my eyes itch, burn, and water. Alright? And I'm very much a big eye rubber too. And I've tried every kind of so-called hypoallergenic eye makeup out there. It's all the same. Alright? It all just streaming tears. I am very much an extrovert on camera and on stage. But get me off, and I am very much an introvert. I'm the kind of person who, if you take me to a party and there is a dog or a cat, I'm off making friends with them rather than mingling with the people. But hey, get me on stage and on camera and I will ham it up for you as much as you want, because I love to entertain people. Other things I love to read. I love books. I love books like Dracula and The Phantom of the Opera, Sherlock Holmes, and Harry Potter. I love books. I love reading. And I don't just love regular books. Nope. I love comic books. Yes, I am a geek who reads comic books. And if you don't, people kind of get on me about that because, oh my God, you're an adult and you read comic books? It's like, yeah, so what? I also love to sing. I've got so much sheet music. I would love to do a duet with Barry Manilow and Michael Crawford. There are other people I would love to do a duet with, but those are my top 2, are Barry Manilow and Michael Crawford. And my style of music is all the older style. Glenn Miller, Sammy Davis Jr., Buddy Holly. I love the old songs. All right. So there you have it. Sorry. I love to fish. I have been fishing since my parents could get me to hold a pole in my hand. Like 2 and 3 years old I was fishing. Does not make me an expert. I do not know how to fly fish, and I'm not good with lures or artificial bait. But give me a night crawler and I know what I'm doing. Mostly fished Southern California. Never fished Northern California. Would like to someday. Mostly the High Sierra areas, so I've mostly fished for trout. Done a little bit of ocean fishing. Fished Alaska once, going again this year. Would love to fish all 50 United States, and I would love to fish in other countries, but I can't afford it. So, but a great show idea would be me hosting a fishing show where I can learn and people learn at the same time. Send me out there with a camera and a guide and let me fish Texas and New York and Michigan and Scotland and just let me fish. Let me fish. There's your show idea right there. I love to thrift shop and antique. I collect way too much stuff, but it does not make me a hoarder. All right? You're not going to find big old piles of newspapers and stuff. In fact, a lot of things that I buy, I give away. I like to find porcelain dolls that children were rough on. I mean, not broken, because I can't glue, but I'm talking about like they took pen to their face or took the braids out of their hair, and I clean them up and I fix them up till they're almost good as new, and I give them away. I keep very few of them. I'm getting into cosplay. I've only cosplayed once so far, because I have a friend who cosplays, and there were some things that I really wanted to do. My first cosplay is actually my interpretation of the plague Red Death from the Edgar Allan Poe story, The Mask of Red Death. So, I got to cosplay a plague! And my parents and I are actually planning a group cosplay. Mom wants to do it, and we're just kind of dragging Dad along. I'm going to be Lady Elaine Fairchild from Mr. Rogers. And Dad is going to be Mr. Rogers. And my mom, who had major back surgery, so therefore has to be in a wheelchair part-time, we wanted to incorporate her wheelchair into it. And after discussing it, we decided that she's going to be the neighborhood trolley. So that's the goal for next year, is to get up a little Mr. Rogers cosplay going. Okay, so let's move on to medical issues, right? Because I know you're interested in that. You're going to have medical issues come up in your shows. Let's start with genetic bladder and kidney problems. I am very prone to infections, and when I gotta go, I gotta go. These are things that are passed down on the maternal side of my family, all right? My mom has it. My mom's mom had it. Her mother actually died of kidney failure when my grandma was 4 years old. So it just runs in that side of the family. I have a condition known as polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS for short. One of its symptoms, and this is where we're going to get into the weight issue, is that it's really easy to gain weight, really hard to lose it. All right? There you have it. But I've got other issues that actually contribute to weight gain too. I have really severe anemia. I absolutely cannot absorb iron from food or supplements. They cannot find any internal bleeding, but I am losing iron all the time, and I lose it rapidly. I lose it so rapidly that they finally had to have a hysterectomy done on me when I was 38. Do not regret it, because I don't want children, all right? Does not mean I hate children. I just don't want to be a mom. There are children that I love and that I adore, but I just don't want to be a mom, and there's nothing wrong with that. The media needs more positive representation of both child-free by choice women and child-free by choice men. All right, there's not a lot of positive representation for us, just like there's not a lot of positive representation for older women and fat women. And I'm not saying glorify obesity, all right, before anybody comes up with that. I'm saying we need to be more accepting that there are medical reasons that a person might be super skinny or a person might be super fat. We need to acknowledge that and see them as a person, not as a number on a scale. All right. Another one that contributes is I have a lot of allergies. I have lots of allergies to medicines, lots of allergies to food. I have some environmental allergies, namely lilies and pussy willows, and I'm really allergic to latex. So, and both anemia and allergies can slow down your metabolism. I had to have major sinus surgery and a tube put in my ear. So, yeah, I only had like 10% breathing passage opening in my sinuses, and my left ear doesn't drain, so now I have a tube in it. So those are the medical things. Surprisingly, my weight does not mean I have high blood pressure. My blood pressure usually is around 126/70, sometimes 130/80. The only time I've ever had high blood pressure is when I was on birth control. And since I don't have a uterus anymore, that's no longer an issue. And I do not have diabetes. My blood sugar is well in normal range, Unfortunately, PCOS means I have a higher risk for diabetes, but hopefully we can keep my blood sugar well within normal range. I think that's really about it, isn't it? Oh, you probably want to know about my sexuality, because for some reason, everybody's always up in everybody's sexuality. All right. I most fit the definition of gray ace. Gray ace is a form of asexuality. And a lot of people have a hard time accepting asexuals and accepting that we exist. Gray ace basically means that I'm very, very, very rarely attracted to somebody. And even when I am attracted, does not mean I want to have sex with them. All right? That's the most basic definition. You can go to asexuality.org to read more. There's lots of different types of asexuality out there. And again, that's something that is not positively represented in the media. All right? We're mostly made fun of, or people say we don't even exist, or that we just need to meet the right person. Well, that's not true. All right? It's time to accept that asexuals exist. So there you have it. I am 40, fat, asexual, and child-free by choice. Now, my personality is the number one reason you should put me on your show. But let's consider how many demographics I hit here, and how many demographics I hit that are not positively represented in the media. Let's be honest. And people want positive representation of these things. Go over to Tumblr and you will see lots of young people want to see more movies with older women as leads. They want to see an action movie with Helen Mirren, all right, as her as the lead. They want to see an entire season of Project Runway with nothing but plus-size models. Asexuals, as a whole, we want to be acknowledged that we exist and there's nothing wrong with us. And of course, child-free by choice. There's nothing wrong with not wanting children. All right, it is perfectly normal to not want children. It is time we had more positive representation of that instead of being put down and insulted and being told that there's something wrong with us. Did you know that if a woman is married and she wants to have her tubes tied, she actually has to get her husband to sign a permission slip? A husband can go out and get a vasectomy without even telling his wife, but a wife has to get a permission slip signed. I should tell you the story about how hard it was to get my hysterectomy. I actually had a doctor walk out on me saying that she would not help me until I popped out 2 children. All right? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, but, I'm fun. I'm funny. I can sing. I'm, like I said, I'm an extrovert on camera and an introvert off. I'm full of contradictions. But I also have all these serious things that I'm sure your shows would love to hit on. And I'm trying to keep this under 15 minutes, and I noticed that I'm over 13. So I think I better stop now, don't you? Bye-bye.